Good morning, everybody. Wherever you're watching, wherever in the world you are, I hope you're having a good one. And I hope you're ready for some GKR Clash Royale. I know I certainly am. I am double checking something about my bit rate, which is currently set really low. Let's try bringing this up to match what they're asking here. Let's go up to 6,800 and see if that makes YouTube happier. YouTube was not being happy with my bit rate, apparently. And now, interestingly enough, why is my chat widget? Ooh, I think I know why. Let's try this again. Let's try this. All right, let's see if I can get you guys. There we go. Hello, Rich. Hello. Sukrith, how are you? Who's ready for GKR? We're in week 3. They did kick off a little earlier than I was available. I don't know if you know about this, but I was doing this thing called Clash Royale League. And now I'm back now. Whoa, why is that? Let me also make one other change here that I'm realizing. As that should be going to my... There we go. Let's kill some music. Let's watch some Clash Royale. And let's all hang out together.
Bold and bashful.
And have I ever been happier for the GKR format where each team has multiple bans? Because look at this. No Goblin Giant. No Evo Archers. I feel like we are in a special, special world. And somehow Coco's running pump anyway. Folks, it's a mad, 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 mad world out there. But I'm here for it. Here with you. I see Akash in the building. I see Samander in the building. How are you both? And as Coco golems up, immediate hog minions push opposite lane. Knight will shut most of that down. Yeah, less than maybe Coco had hoped. He better get a lot out of this golem push here. Coco, if you don't know, South Korean player, made it to top 50 this year in Clash Royale League. Did make it into the 2021 7th monthly final. But other than that, hasn't had the big international success. Some, not a lot. And right now he's finding himself in trouble in both lanes as that left-hand tower is not long for this world. Fireball will finish that thing off. Paulo, my guess, will also go opposite lane. Doesn't even need to. And that's GG, well played. And let Just muted myself. Let me see. Get my music back up here. So, game number 1, Paulo gets it done easy. And Smurfblade with the good point here, as always. One second, folks. I am, as often, being called to other things. Let's see. One moment, folks. As I'm just checking on something. Okay, well. One moment, folks. I apologize, as sometimes I gotta do more than one thing at once. Coming up next, Hugo and Agony. Do you think there's a non-zero chance that people use the Ice Spirit Evo today? I don't know, man. Doesn't look great. This year's hero was mid. Everything's in the same deck. Yeah, I really wish Goblin Giant would have gone. Steven saying, Rich, what's good? What's up, man? How are you? And, one second. All right, killing the music. We're back. Banning this bot that just came into my Twitch chat. Goodbye, bot. Goblin Giant only banned from SeaM, not too surprised. Yeah, I feel you on that one. Can we just ban Goblin Giant? Like, as a concept? By the way, folks, Yasser put in an S in my name for some reason, but thanks, Yasser, for coming. Most underwhelming Evo card until now. Yep. Yeah, didn't even ban Little Prince. Bowler still around. No surprises here. Frank saying, does Mo not work with Jebbas anymore? Yeah, Mo and Jebbas are no longer working together. The dynamic duo broken up. Prime saying, thanks for keeping us entertained after CRL. My pleasure. Happy to be here. I've missed streaming with you guys. Smurfblade saying that they most likely will buff it to 2 cycles. We'll see.
Doing it for the fam.
Hold on, still working on this. But I'm sure there's some Clash Royale you guys can watch. And I've never seen that before. That's interesting. Look at that. Look at that rock. Rock just rolling. All right, well, let's pop out here for a second, throw on some music as I go ahead and try to fix this problem. Hi, everybody. How are you? Oh, I don't even have my lights on. There we go. Boom. Lights are on. There was some sort of issue. Let's see if we can get it fixed. And, oh, it looks like Hugo ended up winning. So, nice little 2-0 there for SeaM. They done. Give me half a second here. I think we're just about done with me being distracted by other things. Because as soon as I started the stream, I started getting a whole bunch of DMs. All right, so that's the first set. King of the Hill coming up next. Coco, Inthril, and Titan against Nooby, Quentin, and Paulo. And here we go. Let me see if I can come back out here. Hi, everybody. How are you? Good to see you. FGAB saying, what's up? Akash saying, prize pool. Same as usual. I don't remember what it is, but, you know, I think it's like $7 grand or something like that. Thought it was my network. No, it wasn't your network. I've never seen the rock roll like that. See what I did? Because all right. Let's see. What was that from? Never mind. Let's see. Hey, Rich, how's it going? Hey, Nate, how are you? Jordan Mark Brighter. Good to see you too. Says 46K in the description. Oh, 46K is, I think, the overall season prize pool. I think that's like the full year prize pool. That they're like, that when you play through these splits, there's also going to be a grand final overall for GKR. And so these splits each have a portion of the prize pool, and then the grand final has a portion of the prize pool as well. So there you go. So that was a win for SeaM. Let's go ahead and throw them a little. I'll throw them a little bit of points there. Oh wait, is this the wrong? Why are these matches out of order? Well, let's go ahead and fix that. Because we are. Do I have the wrong overlay? Or am I looking at the wrong stream? I am very confused right now. Do I have the feed? This might not even be the correct feed, folks. I think it is. Is this even the matches I had listed in the description? TSA versus DC, and let me look at this for a second. And then Trailblaze versus SeaM. And that's Tropical Gaming. So I think I have the wrong. I even have the wrong feed. This is hilarious, folks. Well, we'll let this play out for a minute while I figure out where the right clean feed is. Oh yeah, I'm looking at. That's yesterday's. Where's today's feed? I was wondering why. Okay. Well. Let's pause, folks. Let's pause as I sort this out. Hilarious. We were on the wrong feed entirely. We were on yesterday's... I didn't even know there was a feed yesterday. This is what happens when you come back from life. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get us all sorted out into the proper matchups. Technical difficulties, folks. Yeah. Vanguard's is like, yo, that's the week 2 matchup. Yo, I figured that out. And now I have the correct feed for today's matchups. Let's see where we are. And here we go. Here we go. Correct matchup. TSA Gaming and DC team. I had the wrong clean feed. There we go. So here we are. Goblin Giant banned. Oh, good. I guess everyone's banning Goblin Giant, all the thing. All right, now we're sorted out. TSA Gaming versus DC team. Goblin Giant banned by everybody. Mortars, NATOs, Evo Archers. Still feeling it. Who won, Tropical or SeaM? I actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and bring up that information. Where do we got that? Let's see. Results of what have happened so far. In Week 1, TSA beat Team BLN, Tropical beat Trailblaze, CALALAS beat DC Team, and OLIMPO Squad beat SeaM. Week 2, Trailblaze beat TSA Gaming, DC Team beat Team BLN, SeaM Esports beat Tropical, and CALALAS beat OLIMPO Squad. So those are your Week 1 and Week 2 matchups. TSA Gaming currently 1-1. Team BLN currently 0-2. Tropical Gaming currently 1-1. Trailblaze also currently 1-1. CALALAS shocking 2-0. DC Team 1-1. SeaM Esports 1-1, and OLIMPO Squad's now also 1-1. So we have one 2-0 team, a bunch of 1-1s, and one 0-2 team. Why not ban RG Evo? Because it's not very good. So there we have it, folks. We are on the proper situation now. Well, that was a fun little start, huh? A little misstep here. But now we're in it. Now we are properly in it. Here we go. Lineups. Venpers versus Alfon. Victor versus SeiMaSHiN. And Schwarzen, have not seen him in a long time, versus Wallace. DC team. I don't know what DC stands for, but they have a duck. A purple and green duck, which I'm all for. So we should be getting into our gameplay here in just a second. Oh yeah, I was like, why are all the things wrong? All right, let's see if we can get to the gameplay here. Oh, and here we go. Boom. And an Ice Spirit, not an evolved Ice Spirit. How many people have unlocked it so far? What do you think? I have not yet. Oh yeah, by the way, I know that there's a whole lot of things going on right now, including, but not limited to, this whole level 15 is now in ranked situation. So if you are going to get some EWCs from the shop, use code RICH. It's an easy thing to do. You go into the shop, scroll to the bottom, put in RICH. And then when you buy your levels to compete on Path of Legends, I get some support. Or if you're going to get the pass, all that stuff. Use code RICH. Wonder what Alfon's building is here. If he is running Bomb Tower, going to make the Loon defense a lot harder. And he is. And that Phoenix with the little shot there. He should be able to get at least death damage here, I think. That Ice Spirit's not going to slow it down enough to avoid. Maybe I was wrong. Well played. We actually saw this matchup, or similar matchup to this one, very similar this weekend in the Snapdragon Pro Series. If you didn't watch that, by the way, Snapdragon Pro Series, best team format I have seen in a long time. It's duos. One player plays dual mode, the other player plays Mega Draft, and then if it's a tie after two matches, after two sets, then the teams go into a 2v2 tiebreaker. Really phenomenal format. Really fun. And Smurfblade pointed out that Hog can outplay here. Yeah, it's just it's it's hard to do the outplay, but it is outplayable. And I think that what we were talking about on stream the other day with this one is this is one of those ones that the vast majority of players who are playing Hog would lose, but that the top players playing Hog, I think, might even have the matchup advantage. But it depends. The bomb tower, I think the bomb tower makes it way harder now. On top of that, you're facing Tesla. Loon in, this time behind the Monk, which really changes the math. Ice Spirit in to slow things down. Evo Cracker. And the Monk doesn't get into... He was saving it. I think that Vempers probably should have popped that Monk in anticipation. He does not. Good use of the ability. But Alfon still just trying to fight from behind here. Tesla being out will be nice. Log, pre-log against the Evo Skelly is absolutely huge. Ice Spirit does not get the Phoenix, though. 878 to 1006. And he has to aggressively hog here because he knew the Loon was coming. Snowball slows things down. Hog does not get a shot. Ice Spirit, can Alfon cycle back to another bomb tower here in time? I don't think he can. And that's GG, well played. Vempers takes game number 1. So nice work by Vempers. Next up will be SeiMaSHiN. Why does it keep showing that Vempers isn't in the clan? That's very weird. No, not add to reading list. Are you crazy? It's not what I'm trying to do. Add to reading list. Didn't know that was an option on this thing. Monk key card. Yeah, Monk is key. I felt like Vempers didn't activate the ability at some key moments, but, you know, he still won. So, what you gonna do at that point? Coming up next for DC team will be SeiMaSHiN. Where's the rest of his name, though? Where are you, SeiMaSHiN? Please hold as I try to figure out what the heck happened to this playa. Oh, I guess we're getting into gameplay, so never mind. Rosters. Oh, is that what's... No, he's there. Very weird. So hard to find there. Oh, because he's... These guys switched their clan like at the very last second. SeiMaSHiN, if you don't know, player out of Japan. Did have a good run in one of the Royale Masters King of the Hill events this year. Other than that, he's played mostly some team events in Japan. Best ranked or best ladder finish is top 29. Best finish in our new ranked system is 66th. But does seem to have a decent number of top 500 finishes overall. Finished just outside of the top 100 in CRL points this year. Was never able to break past the Swiss stage. Got 6 wins multiple times. In fact, got 6 wins 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the months. 7 was the minimum you could possibly get to break through. You really needed 8 to be safe to get through the group stage. Vempers, by comparison, also finished in the top 200 for CRL this year. Goblin Giant ban becoming meta or just counter picks? Goblin Giant is the meta. It's so annoying. Goblin Giant needs a... Goblin Giant got 3 buffs this year. It's way too strong, and it's way too strong for being such a, like a basic, not hard to play card, right? There's no, it's, so the Goblin Giant got 3 buffs. Buffs to the spears themselves, buffs to the Goblin Giant itself. It's really kind of crazy. And then you add in Rage. It's just too annoyingly strong. You know, someone asked me, the other day about Mohamed Light losing at World Finals. And I think there are 3 primary factors to some of the surprising performances that you saw at Worlds. One of them is Goblin Giant. Spartan Stiff saying, really? I rarely see it. All I see are hogs, LMAO. Spartan, I'm guessing that you're not playing, like, at the top of ranked? Anyone who says all I see are hogs is usually playing, like, mid-ladder. And Smurfblade calling Goblin Giant respectable. I don't know if I'd call it respectable. I think I'd call it horrific and unenjoyable. But it's too simple and basic of a card. So, long story boring, the Goblin Giant Rage combination and Goblin Giant overall pretty much was if you play casually, then all you see is Hog Rider. If you play casually, Hog Rider and Mega Knight are everywhere if you play casually. If you play seriously, you see those still, but not at the same level by any means. Yeah, no longer a joke, niche win con, says Smurfblade. Yeah, so 3 things at World Finals. One, just like the frequency with which Goblin Giant Rage just was a free win, especially if you weren't against Goblin Giant Rage, was ridiculous. It's just one of those ones where it's like you can play perfectly for so long, and then like triple elixir happens, one big downhill push with Rage behind it, and it's GG. And a lot of if you actually look on Twitter right now, a lot of the top players are talking about like if you got whatever your finish was this season on ranked doesn't count if you did it with Goblin Giant Rage. It's one of the worst metas we've had. Then you add in Evos, which the data is actually very clear. Evos they increase variance and reduce like what I would call skill. Because if you look at the data, all the top players when Evo came out, pretty much across the board, you see their win rates in CRL went down by between 7 and 14%. And the players who were viewed as not as high level, you saw a lot of their win rates go up. And it's just that it reduced variance. Evos are so like game breaking when they do get involved that they're able to swing. And people might say skill issue, but when the data is pretty clear across the board, top tier players win rates went down and lower tier players win rates went up when Evos came out. What that tells me is that it reduced the skill gap. There was one other factor to Mo losing at Worlds, which was going into the Adriel match with the wrong deck progression sheet, which was also a factor. So, you know, you put all those 3 things together, and that's part of why you saw Mo lose at Worlds. But just in general, I think a lot of what you saw at Worlds was a meta that doesn't separate skill as much as the pre-Evos, and Goblin Giant hasn't been buffed into insanity. Weird question. Do you think Rage is too strong to synergize as well with Goblin Giant? I don't know if Rage itself is too strong. You don't see Rage in a ton of other decks. I think it synergizes really well with Goblin Giant because of the spears specifically. Yeah, he went in with the wrong sheet. That is correct. Rage synergizes really well with Goblin Giant because of the spears. Not to mention the fact that it's now so beefy and so hard to kill that it stays on for a long time. But, yeah, the amount of damage it can do. If you see it, a lot of the games that go crazy, you'll see it's because the spears actually get on tower. There's a brief gap where the spears get on tower, and suddenly the damage the Goblin Giant's doing with the spears in tow, plus the Rage on top, is insane and so fast. And so it creates this insane amount of burst damage that's just game swinging. And it's one of those ones where the margin for error is so thin compared to any other card. Again, it reduces variance. Just like the Evos, the margin of error gets... And you'd think that that would benefit the top players, but the data is pretty clear that it just makes it so that everyone is more even and has reduced the skill gap for sure. Dybala saying, yeah, Goblin Giant finishes don't count. Lost the top 200 because of that card. I mean, some people lost world championship opportunities because of that card. You know what I mean? It's also strange that Mo and Morton went out so early. I say it's the meta is so much more unskilled. I mean, I think that's very clear. Now, to be fair, it's not like they played against, and yeah, there's waving the white flag there. Schwarzen closes things out for TSA Gaming over Wallace. GG. Haven't seen Schwarzen play in a while. Set number 1 going to TSA. Set number 2, King of the Hill, Venpers, Schwarzen, and Will against issei, Lord Seb, and Wallace. Let's go ahead and I will... I think, where's TSA game yet? TSA is there. Boom. Now we got that adjusted. Let's look at some more chat. Let's see. Rage doing damage now is also huge. It's so crazy. So yeah, you combine those two things, and Goblin Giant Rage just come together so nicely. So now you have Goblin Giant with the spears, which now are so much more dangerous. You rage it up, you get so much more damage out of it. And then the rage killing swarms on top of it is insane. Took a small break and so much has changed. Yeah, I mean, I'm really hoping they nerf Goblin Giant soon. It's too much. It's too much. How do pros play every deck so well? I just can't seem to play anything other than my main deck. They practice those decks. Most pros start as one tricks. And then when they start thinking that they can play pro, they start practicing other decks. And they don't just learn interactions, but they also learn the macro. They learn like how the deck should be played in certain situations. They work together and try to get better. Schwarzen with a nice off-meta deck and he went with it. Schwarzen has done some of that. It's crazy how many pros have a bad admin game. The amount of times they bring the wrong cards, place Evos in the wrong spot, or play ban cards is ridiculous. Where's that happening, George? Don't know what you mean by that. What do you mean? Just curious, know what sheet. Yeah, Mo went in. Mo went into the Adriel game with the Samuel Basoto deck progression sheet, and so if you saw his face after game 1, he looks down and kind of like has this look on his face, and it's because he realized he had the wrong deck progression sheet, how to create decks just like out of nowhere, which is why he came out with that Goblin Drill deck, which he almost won with, but lost to. Say it with me, folks. Goblin Giant Rage. I think it was Goblin Giant Mega Knight Bowler. Wasn't that the game? How is Rich today? Thank you, Devlop. Thank you. Rich is pretty good. Settling in after Worlds. Morton also said the same thing about as you about the meta and how much it has changed. Yeah, just again, the meta right now is very much for. I mean, Mo should have had a sheet against Adriel because Jeb is working with both of them. Well, a couple things. One, he was not working with Jebas for that match. He had prepared with somebody else for that match. And then the wrong sheet went up with him to the stage. But no, he had, they all had contingencies in place for their coaching situation. Obviously, that won't be a problem anymore now that Jebas is not going to be working with Mo anymore. And also, probably part of why they're not working together anymore is because of of at least that situation in part. Evo Barbs. Oh, was Evo Barbs? Oh, yeah, that's right. It was Evo Barbs in that one. But we did see it. Who ran the Goblin Giant Bowler Mega Knight deck? That was crazy, too. Goblin Giant Evo Barbs Sparky Bump. Yeah, that's it. I mean, oh, yeah, it was that deck. God, it's like... And Adriel's good, too. Who's Mo working with now? No word on that yet. Suspecting Julesy, but no, there's not a long list. I don't think it's going to be. It could be. I think that Mo's going to go with somebody who's not working with a lot of players. I think that was one of his one of their issues is more than once this year. I think that they were Mo was unhappy, or Mo's team was unhappy with the fact that Jebas sat out a match because he was working with a competing player. So my suspicion is that Mo will find somebody who's working with maybe at most one or two other people, but we'll try to find someone who's got a limited player pool. Whereas Jebas is working with all of Shot CALALAS. Oh, look at this Royal Giant in there. Look at that Royal Giant in there. Fishboy doing some work. RG in deep. How many shots will it get before that hunter? And I haven't seen this in a long time. The fish go boom combination. Fisherman plus the hunter. We actually did a whole feature on this in CRL 2019. Oh boy, can you stop this Evo RG? You're going to monk this back. But not back, you just monk it in. You just monk it in. Oh boy, Evo RG, does it get one more? It doesn't get one more, and Vempers is going to win. Vempers taking game number 1 of King of the Hill. Well played, Vempers. Well played indeed. Yeah, that's my suspicion, is that Mo's going to find... Oh, Intel says Julesy? Okay. Well, there you go. All right, next up will be Lord Seb for this one. So Julesy it will be. Interesting. And last year, Jules was only working directly with Mo. I mean, with Morton. So, let's see. I don't want to take anything away from Moogie. He was amazing. Moogie was amazing. Moogie used that against Pedro, Goblin Giant, MJ, and Paulo. It's so dumb. Everyone had to use it. Everyone had to use it, and it was so annoying. It's amazing how much a good coach can affect pro level play. Yeah, absolutely. Wrong monk position. Yeah, that wasn't great. Julesy's only working with Morton, so it's possible to see him pick up. Apparently, I've heard out. How bummed were you after Mo lost? I don't know if I was bummed specifically. I'm trying to let me think on that. It was just kind of like deflating, right? Like you really want to see the top players go deep. I was more like personally bummed when Morton lost. You could actually feel the air go out of the room when Morton lost. Like people overall were like, "Oh no." So I think that was probably the bigger moment for just about everybody. Coach makes all the difference. Coach makes a big difference. Players were, prepping like crazy and working really hard. I was more bummed out when Morton went out. It was only the first day and also his facial expressions. Yeah, it's just like Morton had a couple really good games and a couple that just like bounced the wrong way. When Mo lost to Air Surfer, I was surprised, but not that worried considering what he did in 2022. I was not surprised he lost to Air Surfer. And I've been saying for a long time that I put Air Surfer, gave him like a 35% chance to win. I just watch your ads for your benefit. Devlop, this is actually, so there are two really simple ways to support what I do. One is if you are going to buy stuff inside the Supercell shop, use code RICH. That's a really easy way to do it. Again, don't buy stuff if you're not going to, but if you're going to, especially if you're going to buy like a bunch of EWCs right now to level up your one deck that you want to play for ranked this season, putting code RICH before you do it, it helps me out. But number two, if you actually watch the ads when they run on YouTube, I know it can be annoying, but especially if it's like between games or something, if you actually watch the ads, that helps. That actually does help the creator that you're looking at. So especially like if you're watching a YouTube VOD as opposed to a live stream, let the ads run. It's actually crazy that does help, but it does, as opposed to the ads being skipped. Thank you, Devlop. That's very nice of you. Is the sound being really funky to you guys too? Morton's bracket was by the hardest I've ever seen. Do you agree? Yeah, Morton's. I mean, did you watch my video about it? I did a whole preview series breaking down the four. Oh boy, Lord Seb has a lot of things coming down. Where's his fire? Where's your fireball, Lord Seb? Where's your fireball? Ooh, Monk's in a hold here for a second. Monk's in a hold for a second. Okay, okay. Lord Seb trying. Lord Seb trying. A lot on the board here. Fishboy trying to hold. Skelly's trying to get that little prince off the board. You're not back to fireball yet, though, are you? You're one away? No, you are. Okay, Lord Seb. Trying to stay in it. Trying to stay in it. 640. 2475. This is trouble, though. He's up against Evo Barbs, Heal Spirit, Cage, Zappies. Very, very difficult. Well, I don't buy stuff from the shop, but I put in code RICH for no reason. Very cool. Yeah, I think people slept on Air Surfer too much. People slept on Air Surfer like crazy. Like, it was ridiculous how much they were not. And I even tweeted right after he won. Put some respect on his name. Air Surfer's so good. That was impressive, but it won't matter. Yeah, no, he's still going to lose, but it was nice. It was good to see him hold on like that. Spartan Stiff. I feel you with the ads, but it's rough when you watch a VOD when you have ads and also ads that the creator makes within the video. Well, if there's an ad inside the video, then you will see that it says include sponsored content. At that point, if they put an ad before that, go ahead and skip it. They've already made their money on the video. But like the 4 videos that I made previewing World Finals, where I got basically every pick wrong, by the way, that was brutal. I mean, if you picked anywhere close to Weld for World Finals, you need to go to Vegas right now because you are apparently insane next level. But those videos weren't sponsored videos, so yeah, watch the ads on those ones if you can. Disappointed they didn't have an Ice Cold plushie at Idols Cold in Finland. There was a small part of me that thought maybe they would do it. But they didn't. You know, another way to support a creator, and I know this is... So some of you guys may have also seen, like, I do some videos for Matchmasters on my channel. Those are a sponsor. The game, as far as Match 3 games go, it's pretty fun, but those are definitely a sponsor. If you're not... Just play those in the background. You don't have to watch them, but that also helps. If you see a creator you like making a video for a game that's not the game they cover, just let it play in the background. Wasn't Air Surfer a top 3 player at one point? It depends on how you define top 3, but Air Surfer's been world class forever. Where did you finish last season, Rich? I forgot to push last night. Like I got like 5 wins away from Ultimate Champion, and then just like was doing family stuff, and then fell asleep. Let's go ahead and jump into gameplay. For you, Rich, I'll watch the ads. Oh, thanks, Spartan. Moogie and Pedro also proved that just rotating between your best 4 or 5 decks can bring success. Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing with Pedro for next year is going to be increasing his deck pool. I mean, he was just basically like playing Minor Control, Hogs, and then Goblin Giant. And that can work sometimes. And I think that worked really well at Worlds because you have to factor in everyone's nerf. So it worked well on Worlds, but I think that in general, that the biggest thing that he can do to improve his success, I mean, he got 2nd place this year, obviously, but he also had kind of like a, I mean, he did have a hard run. He beat Ruben, then he beat SeaM. Who else did he beat on that run? That was actually like a pretty gangster run overall. I swear that I have it up somewhere. Where do I have the... There we go. Let's see. He beat Ruben, then SeaM, then Pandora, then Moogie, and then double loss to Moogie. Who did most have a similar play? It was Pedro, yeah. It was Pedro, for sure. He beat Moogie in the upper bracket finals. Yeah, that's a good run. But again, like, I think part of it is just you have to take the world's nerves. Yeah, so like set number 1, he runs Minor Mortar, loses, wins RG against Hog, and then wins Hog against Goblin Giant Rage from Mo. But he was running Tesla Evo Archers and Mighty Miner. Then round number 2 against Samuel Basoto. Oh, the decks aren't listed there. Come on, whoever's doing the Liquipedia. Come on, get it together. I was relying on you for all the deck information. You only did day 1. How dare you? The fact that a rookie got 2nd place in World Speed levels out good Pedro. I mean, Pedro, the level that the difference in Pedro from last year to this year is insane. He's definitely, without question, the most improved player. He did play technically in 2022 in some, trying to qualify for CRL, but no, like, I don't know what he did to hit the level of improvement he did, but he was not the ladder, like the ranked menace that he is now, and he just turned it on. Royal Hogs, Evo Scouts, Mohamed deck at that time, yeah. I feel like everyone that played Hog just lost. No, I mean, he played a lot of Hog and won with it. Marcel in the Twitch chat. Hello, nice cast yesterday. GG's to Surge. Yeah, Surge and Vitor. They were great. They were great yesterday. Balloon going to come in. Should get a shot. Yep, we'll get one. We'll get death damage as well. Vemper's riding this Loon deck pretty hard today. With no NATO, no Mortar, and no Evo Archers, it certainly gets a nice little buff. Thoughts on tower troops? To be determined. I don't know enough about what they're going to be like to really have a comment. I really hope that they are more accessible than Evos. I also hope Evos become more accessible. I think I would have been more interested in. Look at let's dial in for a second. Miner gets picked up. Delivery for the Loon. Second bomb tower. I think Wallace might have this. That reflection is nasty. Oh, and he doesn't pick up the miner. Oh boy. All right, so I thought Wallace had that for a second. He now has to do a whole lot of things. Miner goes to the front. Poison. Can he get another miner poison in? He has to pick up this miner or it's GG's. And he does it. GG, well played. That's a nice little 3-0 for Vempers. Well played. Well played. King of the Hill sweep. And I believe that's, yeah, that's match for TSA. Well done, TSA. And Vempers, great performance. Great performance. And we'll have our next match in just a minute. Let's see. What do you think of Evo Ice Spirit? I haven't played with it yet, but it seems underwhelming. You did your job at Finals with enthusiasm. Thank you very much. This was a really fun Finals. I chose to not wear sunglasses as much so my eyes could be more emotive in a lot of those introductory moments and things like that. I'm really proud of the show open. Like the day one show open, I'm really proud of that one. We get to write our own stuff too. We're not given scripts. So that was also like really fun. Yeah, this was fun. The day 3, like I think my big thing with day 3 is that day 3 was just kind of I don't know, it felt like underwhelming day 3. Like it didn't have the big moments that you kind of hope for on the last day of Worlds. But yeah, it was a whole lot of fun. Minor point surprise, often people ran MK Prince Hog deck and ended up facing E-Giant. Yeah, E-Giant was all over. The time between the matches was a lot shorter, it was a lot better. Yeah, it moved pretty quickly. Naseed, how are you? Good to see you too. It has been a minute, but now I'm back. Let's see. Production was great. Yeah, well, that team is tremendous. The team that produces World Finals, the Finnish team, is the same team that produces like The Voice and Eurovision and all that stuff over there. It's a tremendous production team, which is why you kind of get the more like previous Worlds. Worlds 2018 was very forward-facing, right? Andrew and I were at the desk the whole time. Worlds in 2019 was also, again, very forward-facing. We had Rachel as a host, hosting, interviewing down on the floor. But, like, the 3 caster teams in English, Spanish, and Portuguese, we were all stuck at our desks, so it was a much less dynamic show. And then, obviously, 2020 was remote. 2021, we were in a 2021, we were in a studio, and we were more dynamic, right? We had us at the desk. We had us, like, but there was no crowd and there were no players, so we were trying to make more things happen. We had, like, the separate area for the replays and for the telestration. But 2022 and 2023, both with that Finnish production team, both of that European team, like, they do that. They do a lot of these big, like, more whatchamacallit, these like reality like reality competition type shows. So the movement, all that kind of stuff, like that's a thing that they have experience with. So being able to do the onstage, the cold open for Andrew by the trophy, and the onstage open, and then the interviews and the throws and the introductions, and just gave it a really fun and dynamic feel that I really enjoyed. It was fun last year, and it was fun this year for sure. The event looked really special, high quality production. Yeah, for sure. No, the event was tremendous. I had a blast doing it. I always have a blast. Oh, never mind. We're just going to our bans. And yay, Goblin Giant is still banned. Oh, thank you, thank you. Lava Hound banned by SeaM. Very interesting choice here. The Pump is also banned. Lineups to kick things off here. We've got Mateja, growwiser, and Enis. Enis? I always forget which one it is. And against Paulo, Hugo, and Quentin to kick things off. So Mateja versus Paulo, growwiser versus Hugo, and then if necessary, Enis versus Quentin. That'll be the progression that we go through here. Let's see. One moment. All right. Morton gave us the 0 HP win before he went out, if nothing else. Yeah, that was fun. That was a big blast. Moogie winning wasn't a big moment. I don't know if it was a big moment. Like, you know what I mean? It was, I mean, it's, I guess that having a two-time winner was, but it wasn't like, there was no drama to the win, is what I mean, Jeff. Right? Like, there weren't a lot of there weren't a lot of dramatic game 3. We had like a lot of some dramatic game 1 and game 2 wins, but not a lot of dramatic like game 3 wins. A lot of dramatic moments where like the actual like who got to go forward hung in the balance on a rope. A lot of the close wins came when the match wasn't on the line, and then the Moogie win, it just felt more dominant than it felt like it was close. You know what I mean? Trailblaze literally playing half of a Goblin Giant deck. Yeah, for sure. Juicy's commentary analysis of the match was amazing. Yeah. Oh yeah, getting to do the telestration is super fun. I love doing the telestration. It's a blast. I think I'm pretty good at the telestrating portion of it, like in terms of actually using the machine and focusing things certain directions. I used to make videos that were basically telestration videos in my Inside the Play series, so that was also super fun. Mo and Morton finals was so good I could watch it 1,000 times again. I think that's the big thing, right? Is like, especially day 3. I need to go back and rewatch, but like, I think Mo Morton finals from 2022, or even like, let's talk about the top 3, right? Or like, I feel like there's I mean, maybe I'm being unfair to it, but I feel like there's a lot fewer matches that I feel compelled to rewatch this year than I felt compelled to rewatch last year. But, you know, as I go through it, I'll probably reevaluate. It's also hard to evaluate just from a casting perspective because you're so focused on doing the job and less focused on watching. So my perspective is a little bit different than your perspective. I like that minor placement. I like that. That was nice. Yeah, okay, I'm pretty sure game 1 of Morton versus Samuel, right? Like, I need to go rewatch day 3 in particular. Just kind of see if I'm a little wrong on day 3. Oh wait, do I have this listed on the wrong game? Let me go back to my stream here. I think I might have the nope, it's on Clash Royale, never mind. I don't know why I thought that it was on I had it on Moko still. But I don't. Good. Nice little easy King Tower activation there for Paulo. You are not wrong. Believe in yourself is a very, very funny way to respond, but I support you. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the support, Devlop. Stinky coming in. Morning, Rich. How you doing? Doing all right? Just watching some GKR, talking worlds. Morton's a big smile when it went out with sudden death. Maybe get off my bed. Yeah, it was a great moment. I was not casting that one. I was like I was in the back working on something and like kind of caught it out of the corner of my eye. Paulo just trying to double down here. Mateja might log this. Lightning comes in, resets, doesn't need a log. King Tower activation would be helpful if he'd been able to get it, but not really a good way to do that. Devlop says cycle wins here. I don't know. I mean, the Inferno Tower gets shut down by the Lightning plays, right? Am I wrong there? I think Morton versus Surge takes the cake when it never happened again. I mean, yeah, Morton versus Surge was crazy. On paper, Cycle wins, but it's easier to play the E-Giant, yeah. And when you get that, when you get the bowler lineup for 2 big shots, and suddenly give yourself a 800 plus HP lead with 40 seconds left, not easy to make that up here. Bowler does get in front. Paulo's getting cycled pretty nasty, though. These Evo archers are huge. So pretty close. Does Paulo bar barrel here? He does not. I thought he was in a bar barrel there. He does have lightning, but he doesn't get, he just lightnings the tower, does not get the Inferno Tower. Ahead by 300 HP, 10 seconds left. Poison goes to the front. Paulo, I don't think Paulo can go to lightning again. I don't think he can get there in time. He does get there in time. Never mind. And Paulo gets the win. GG, well played. Bolornado might as well be a win con at this point. Williams didn't reach the tower, but barely out of range. Yeah, I feel you on that. But also, like, it will reach the tower eventually. It will get in range of the tower. That's how any troop works. I didn't want Surge or Morton to lose, as they were my favorite 2 guys. Yeah, I know the feeling there. All right. We shall continue on. Inferno, my nemesis. What, you run Golem, Devlop? You run Lava? Coffee it up. All right, here we go. Game 2. Advantage Trailblaze. Zap out, that's nice. Never tank, cycle better, and an Inferno Tower is your problem. What happened to Igor? He had so much talent. That's an interesting question. I don't remember how much of this year Igor actually played. Let me look at how much of this year Igor actually played CRL. Because he had one month. Let's see. He made it to the round robin stage in the first, and so he didn't play season 1. So here's the thing: Igor made it to 19 overall on rank, which take away 7. He made it to 12 overall on rank, and the top 7 made it on points. So Igor still was very close to making it on points, and he didn't play the first month of CRL. And so you think about that. He had 280 points. I can't remember what it took to actually make it. Let me go ahead and check that real quick. He finished with 280 points after not playing in the first month. Air Surfer made it with 400, so he was 120 points behind. Where are you, Igor? Wait, this... That's weird. That lists him as 36. Why is that so different from what it says on his... This says rank 19 for CRL 23. And then this says he was ranked 36 on the leaderboard. That's very weird. Why is that? Why the discrepancy? That's very weird. I know Mugi is one world, but does he feel it? That's totally different. A different topic. I don't know. Mugi's like so stoic. Man, just straight up P.E.K.K.A bridge spam here with Evo Archers and Little Prince. Fascinating. I guess P.E.K.K.A gets a buff with the recruits out, but still weird. So, let's see. Igor didn't play the first month, which, you know, ends up leaving most likely like 30 points on the board, which is not enough to put you in contention. Month 2, he made it to the round robin stage, didn't perform very well. Month 3, 6 wins in Swiss. Month 4, he only got 3 wins in Swiss, which makes me feel like something happened in month 4. Right? You know what I mean? It makes me feel like something was going on, because 3 wins for Igor in Swiss, I'd have to go back and like look at what happened there. But that seems wild. And then in month 5, he made it to the bracket stage. Made it to the top 4 in the bracket, had a good run. And then got 7 wins in Swiss in the 6th month and 6 in the 7th month. So, you know, you never know what would have happened if he played the first month and whatever the heck happened in the 4th month where he only got 3 wins in Swiss, which, again, like something out of, that seems very out of character, very strange that that was the result there. So that's Igor for you. I feel like maybe he only tries hard in World Finals. A lot of people say that. That's a common thing that I've heard. Here we go. 52 seconds left. 1367 to 1380. Log. Oh, the wall breakers connect and a minor shot. Growwiser did not do so in that moment. Ooh, month 4, I think someone reported him for playing in Russia. I know he moved. I know he went to Kazakhstan to play. I know Tourist got reported for playing in Russia, I think. I didn't know that happened to Igor. Hugo trying to hold on, but I think this is it. Oh boy, hold on. Hold on. Can you get on there? Can you get on there? You can't. What a good effort by Growwiser. Hugo able to hold on, and we're going to game... Wait a second. I thought Hugo was the red team. I thought Hugo was blue. Their overlay is confusing me. So I guess we're going to King of the Hill now? Honestly, I'm somewhat confused by all of this, but is what it is. Very confused. Well, let's go ahead and change this. Yeah, so, like, I think that Igor certainly had a good chance of qualifying this year, and things just didn't bounce his way in the end. Lineup, Enis, Mateja, Dominik versus Nooby, Quentin, and Paulo. For our King of the Hill set. Let's go ahead and take a look at those lineups. How do I feel about Little Prince? I don't even know if it's that strong anymore. I think it's still strong, but I think it's just the fact that it's a 3 elixir champion is so huge for a 3-card cycle. And the thing about it, it's a 3 elixir range champion, which is why it fits everywhere, right? Because it fits really nicely in beatdown decks too, because now suddenly you can get 3-card cycle in beatdown decks without having to have a 4 or 5 elixir troop as a piece of it. So it is, I think it fits everywhere more because of its 3 elixir cost than anything else. And that's unfortunate to graveyard directly into a Mother Witch. That's, folks, why you don't graveyard aggressively before you know your opponent's deck. That's such a crazy overcommitment to do all of that. And look what's happening to your tower. You gotta... I know that the meta is so aggressive right now. Graveyarding like that before you've even seen enough... before you've seen 3 cards... Like, Fireball Tombstone could very easily mean Mother Witch. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing about that where you go, he definitely doesn't have Mother Witch here. That was a crazy, reckless opening from Enis. I love this pick of Dominik. Yeah, it's a good one. Remember his highlights with Team Liquid and Surge and Canario, yeah. Maybe Enis didn't have Snowball Arrows right in cycle, he had the Elixir for it. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. But you just, like... You have... It's not like you saw a deck that was definitely not Mother Witch, right? It's not like it was like Nooby had played a Hog. Not like Nooby had played things that Garrett that you're like, there's no way there's a Mother Witch here. He played Evo Archers and Fireball and a Tombstone, right? Like, Tombstone Fireball goes with Mother Witch often. Going that aggressive with that graveyard was ridiculous. Giant Graveyard, always a weird choice. Yeah, people go for it sometimes. It's been around. And now you Graveyard again. You have Arrows Snowball, but you're not predicting the Mother Witch. So again, you're just setting up more chip damage the opposite direction. Well, that's an easy win here for Nooby. An interesting variant of the of this deck. You know, because I saw Mo run it the other day with, instead of the Mother Witch, running it with the Phoenix, and in this case switching Zappies out for the Evo Archers. That's an interesting variant. I like that one. I might try that one out at some point. The only other somebody's trying to punish Archers being out of cycle, but still a weird choice. Yeah. I mean, look, I do see that. You see Archers aren't in cycle, and you go, oh, well, this is a great chance. This is when I get to go in with my graveyard because the top counter's out. And then you find out there's an even nastier counter that's right there next to it, right? So I can see that. I can see that as being the reason. Still a little suspect. Still a little sketch, but, you know, is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try out that version of this deck. I've been trying to learn Royal Giant. Did a video on it with, did a really fun video on it with Minnie that's on the channel. If you want to learn how to play, like conceptually play Royal Giant Skeleton King, it's a really cool video. Let's see, switch you in for these, and then switch the Mother Witch back in. Here we go. Let's jump into game number 2. Where are you at, Mother Witch? Let's switch you in for the Phoenix, and then let's switch the Evos around and play the Evo Archers rather than the RG Evo. That's an interesting deck. I can dig it. I can dig that. Always shout out to the Manuel effect. We're playing Giant GOI rots your brain. At least when disregarding Goblin Giant Rage. Yeah, that's also a possibility. There's some nasty brain rot. I do not know what deck I want to play this season because I don't have a deck that that has enough elite cards in it that I like. Because I was leveling up a bunch of cycle decks, and then of course the meta is not super cycle friendly. Oh boy, you don't love that if you're Mateja. Oh boy, Boji hurts. It hurts so much when a Mega Knight and then a minion get on your tower. Oh boy. The pain, the pain. The pain, the pain. Nooby coming out hot here. French player. Played on the teams competition for the BESF Cup. Has cracked top 500 a couple times for ranked / ladder, but no what I would call like a crowning accomplishment in his career so far. Keiko, I love you, Rich. Aw, thank you so much. Mwah, love to you and everyone watching on Twitch.
Excuse me, don't you know who I am? What up, future king of...
Nooby has a nice lead. And the Ram Rider way behind all of this. Interesting very different takes on Mega Knight Ram Rider. That's a good lightning. Snowball trying to make enough room to sneak the Ram Rider through. It's not going to. Good Evo Archers to save here by Mateja, but he's so far behind. I don't see a real way for him to fight back into this one. The fact that Nooby now can just sit back and use MKs and Ram Riders to break up these pushes. There is a world where Nooby makes a mistake here and an MK plus mini P.E.K.K.A creates problems for him. I just don't know. I don't see that happening. And Nooby using these cyclish cards, as Smurfblade points out, means that he's never without his defensive answers. And Ram Rider to the right-hand side. Mateja picks it up. Lightning going to be a huge problem still. But now you're on 3 Elixir trying to stop an Evo Knight with minions, which should be enough to get this one down. GG, well played. Nooby, 2 up, 2 down here for SeaM Esports and King of the Hill. Well played. Well played, indeed. Last man up for Trailblaze will be Doom, a.k.a. Dominik, a.k.a. new German caster for CRL, if you saw him at Worlds. I didn't watch the German broadcast. Obviously, I was a little busy. But he did join Big Spin on the German casting desk, which was pretty cool. Let's see. Let me just check. Let me look at this for a second. Did that work? Oh, it did work. Okay. All right. There's a tweet on Clash Royale Esports right now. What do you think was it's also on their Instagram and on their YouTube channel as well. What did you think was the best match of day number 1 of World Finals? Air Surfer Molite, Wallace Pandora, Ruben Pedro, or Morton Samuel Basoto? That's the poll up right now. Honestly, I think maybe the best of the weekend might have been which match of it was it of Air Surfers? Air Surfer, the pick that Air Surfer put on, what match was that? Hold on. It must have been Air Surfer. Was it Air Surfer versus Higher? Or was it Air Surfer versus Adriel? I think it was Air Surfer Adriel. Let me go back and see if it... Man, I wish that someone who had ever updated Liquipedia had updated that. I think it was Air Surfer Adriel. Air Surfer had this pick that was just brilliant. It was a Game 3 pick. Yeah, it must be that one, because he... Must be that one. He had a Game 3 pick, I believe, against Adriel that was absolutely brilliant. I don't remember what it was now. Got to go and try to look up that match. Esports. Let's go to... Does this have World Finals decks or just... Maybe I should start updating Wikipedia just so all the information is there because I use it so often. Let's go to maybe battles. Let me go to recent battles. I don't think that they updated World Finals in the CRL portal on Royal API, unfortunately. Now I gotta try to remember what that was. I guess I can just go to the YouTube and see what that matchup was. I just remember it being this pick that Air Surfer put up that was so genius. Let me go backwards here. Air Surfer Pandora, Game 3. Oh no, he lost to Pandora. So it must be the Air Surfer Adriel. Where are you? Oh yeah, I'm interviewing him. This must be it. Oh yeah, Game 3, Adriel running Monk Guards, Fisherman. Oh, he ran Fireball Arrows. I need to go and see what I was seeing again in that one. But boy, he cooked. Those are going to connect. Oh, they don't. The archers just barely hold. Everything dies in time. Nooby's just been leaning on these Evo archers. That's a good, half good miner. Wall breakers to kite here for Nooby. Bowler will set up another nice push. 500 HP lead for Dominik as we go into triple. And he's just about back to an E-Giant. So E-Giant's way behind the bowler here. Nooby, yeah, Nooby needs to be doing this. Nooby needs to get the 3-card cycle moving. Good miner, funky placement, and a weird one for Dom to try to deal with. Low Evo archers to kill the Electro Giant, 1048. That's a great hold for Nooby here so far. Needs to get a miner down in a spot for the bowler, and he does, but doesn't protect the Evo archers from the bar barrel at the same time. Dominik now, 944, 731, a few HP behind. He early cannons, and that early cannon, I understand why, but Nooby did not. He was trying to predict a miner, didn't predict a miner. Instead, Poison comes out. Miner finally gets NATO'd to King Tower, but actually Nooby loves that right now. Right now, all Nooby wants to do, he can't lightning block. He needs to poison, needs to miner, needs to log, and I think he should have this King of the Hill sweep there, and he does, because lightning's not available again. And Nooby comes out with a 1-2-3. Nooby with a 1-2-3. A GG. A well played. King of the Hill sweep. And that's another 5-0. Yeah, Smurf Blade, another 5-0 indeed. YGTY asking, so who's your top 3 pros in the world, in your opinion? In no particular order, because I really haven't thought about it enough. My top 3 pros are, let me go ahead and adjust this. My top 3 pros, without really thinking about the order, are Mo, Mugi, and Pedro. Those are my top 3. Here's taking a look at the schedule results from today, as we've already seen. Tomorrow, we're back with Team BLN versus OLIMPO squad, and then Tropical Gaming versus Shot CALALAS. You want to see the stacked roster of CALALAS come out and do what they do? Can they go 3-0 against Tropical Gaming? We'll see that tomorrow. Yeah, Mo, Mugi, and Pedro are the top 3. I don't think there's a really strong debate there either. Mohamed Light, despite having a funky World Finals, is still probably the top player in the world. Mugi, 2-time world champion, Morton dropped out of top 3. I don't think Morton's top 3 right now. I think that you have to look at Pedro's full year, and between what Pedro did, winning a golden ticket, great performances in a lot of the monthly finals, what he's done on ranked with Pedro has just been stacking top 10 finishes on ranked this year, really crushing it there, and then the number 2 finish at Worlds. You put all those together, I think that Pedro, you have to put him in top 3 right now. I think you do. Morton's year was kind of funky. I don't think Morton's year justifies him being currently considered top 3. Is he top 5 all time for me? Absolutely. Is Pedro top 5 all time for me? No, not at all. But I think if you're talking about the top 3 players right now, there's no question that Mugi's in there. There's no question that Mo's in there, and I think that Pedro is the last person on that list. Morton got 11 plus 20 wins. I don't think that was good practice for Worlds. I don't think so either. It was good content, but I don't think it was great for Worlds. But again, I think a lot of Worlds is chalked up to that the meta. Again, I will say that I think this meta was bad for finding out who the best player in the world is. I think that Mugi overcame it in spite of the meta. But I think there were a lot of dice rolls at this year by comparison. Do I think it's fair that CR has become a pay-to-win game? Well, first of all, CR has always had that feature to it. So it's I don't know where you say has become versus, the fact that Chief Pat was the top player in the world in 2016 because he spent $11,000. I still think that I think that pay to win is a really interesting term because it's used by people who don't get in competitive, and Molt too. And Molt, yeah, the guys who are the top players in the first year were the ones who spent the most money, right? I think that pay to win is a thing that people and this is what I'll say. You have to separate actually competitive players from everybody else. So for actually competitive players, the game's not pay to win. The game is just the game. There is nobody who is capable of making world finals who's not able to because of finances. There's nobody who's capable of being world champion who's not able to because of finances. For everybody else who's not who is not an actually competitive player who's competing to be one of the top players in the world, yeah, I think it's the monetization scheme is too aggressive. I think the EVOs are over monetized and should be more accessible. I hope that the tower troops are not as aggressively monetized, and I think that elite levels were just. I understand why they did it from a financial perspective. I have more insight into that than you guys do, but I don't like it. And I wish that the elite wild cards and that level 15 didn't exist. I personally think it was unnecessary, but the numbers don't lie. Let's see. Let me answer a couple questions. With new EVOs dropping every season, it's kind of difficult to catch up with the new meta. I also have the argument that and again, and maybe it's because I'm an American and the price to pay in is less than the price of a lunch if you go out. But if you want to play this game and be competitive, investing $10 every month doesn't seem that egregious. Would I like it if it were less aggressively monetized? Yes. But honestly, it's a phone game. If you want to play it for fun, play it for fun. If you want to try to be the best, spending what you would spend on one meal each month to be in the mix, not that wild. So I am the last person. I will say this is my final thing on the pay to win stuff. I'm the last person to. I think that the game is overly monetized right now. I'm also the last person to listen to the cries of a free to play player when why should you get anything for free? You should not, like, why should you get an entertainment product for free? Do you expect that should you get movies for free? Should you get anyone's hard work for free? You should get shelter, clothes, housing, and in my opinion, like, medical care should be wildly subsidized, right? Things that are necessary for you to live should be, at least, if not insanely affordable, should be pretty well covered. But beyond that, like an entertainment product that goes through your phone, the fact that you get as much of the game as you get for free is crazy, is awesome, is amazing. So there you go. Weird question, what do you think of Faust at World Finals? I've said this a lot. I think that Faust is great against B-tier players and mid against A-tier players. Mid against A and S-tier players. That's been my take on Faust for a while. And I think that the big thing too is that Faust is not focused enough on the game. Faust focuses heavily on school. Like, he used to have to hide the game from his parents when he was younger. I think that if Faust really doubles down, he could get better and be even more competitive. But I think with the level of commitment that Faust has to the game right now, that he's not going to be, he's going to be in the middle of the A-tier players, right? If you're a competitive player and can afford to spend $15 a month, you're just not good enough. I mean, people are willing to invest in every kind of stuff. So people are willing to invest money in if they're going to be a competitive athlete. So if you want to be a competitive, like esports pro in a game that has this, there you go. Great rich TED Talk on pay to win. Here's the thing. I can pay. I have typically had a maxed account, and I am not able to even get a ranked finish. You know what I mean? Like, I have never had a finish that has a rank in it. So pay to win does not mean the same thing that it meant in 2016 when players who are objectively not that good could be the top players in the world because they paid to have a better account, right? So for the vast majority of people, 99.999%, no matter how much money you pay, you will never be competitive you'll never be like a world finalist. You'll never make it to a CRL monthly final. I'll never know your name. I'll never cast a match of yours, right? That's the reality is you can call it pay to win, but it's only pay to win for the players who aren't competitive. For the players who are competitive, it's not a pay to win game. Yeah, it's a game you have to invest in, but it's not a pay to win game for the actual competitive players. That's my take on it. So, yeah. Sorry if you've been blaming the money factor for why you're not top 10 on ranked, but there you go. It's KK. Kiki says, honestly, I just really want to know your go-to driver, mid-range, and putter for disc golf. I putt with a wizard. My go-to mid-range is a classic DX rock. And for driver, it obviously depends on the situation. I lean heavily. When I went to Finland, I only brought like 5 or 6 discs. I brought a putter, I brought a rock, and then I brought a 154-gram Champion Firebird. I brought a 161-gram Pro Wraith, and I brought an Essence. So if I hadn't been playing in the snow, I would have brought my Maul, which is a big which is a nice little turnover driver. But since I was playing in the snow and my Maul is white, I didn't want to risk losing it. So I didn't bring my big flippy driver, which I would have liked to have on the course we played in Tellin. But yeah, like if I'm playing with 6 discs, it's a putter, it's a wizard, a rock, classic rock, DX, a low weight Firebird, a Wraith, an Essence, and a Maul. That's if I'm playing with 6. And if I have if I can get a 7th disc in there, then a high weight like Nate Sexton Firebird, nice little flat top to really make sure that I can hit those hard hyzer, those hard whatchamacallit, those hard hyzers. So there you go. I actually bag 4 rocks, I actually bag 4 Firebirds. I have a lightweight champion, a low but not quite lightweight pro, and 2 Sexton Firebirds. So there you go. Cool sunglasses. Thank you very much. Well, I think we've reached the end of this stream overall. I'm gonna send a raid off to. Hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and raid Phone Cats on Twitch. I'm gonna go ahead and start that raid right now for those of you on Twits. Thoughts on Jebas and Mo splitting? I think that they've had a lot of success and could have more success. I know some of the details of the split. Just difference of opinion between the two parties. that was in the long term unreconcilable. So there you go. I think Mo will be fine. He needs to find a good coach. I think Mo wanted a coach who was more focused on just him. And I think Jebba's will find some phenomenal players to coach for the for this next upcoming season. It's KK. Now a Clash question. Do you think 3 rotations on the Ice Speeder is too much? Yes and no. I think that we're probably evoing too many cycle cards right now, even though I understand that Beatdown is really strong right now. So that's kind of like a 50-50 thing. So yeah, that's, we'll see. I do think it's not a phenomenal. The rotation isn't great. It's too much, too heavy. Let's see. Any other questions before I dip out? Super Sluggy, the Ice Golem plushie yet? No, they're never gonna do it. Do you have a main deck on ladder? Or you just follow the meta? I do not have a main deck. I get too bored to have a main deck, which is part of why I've never become I've never had like a ranked finish or never like gotten, I've never had any like phenomenal performances. I mean, I can't play a single deck longer than a few weeks. There was one deck I played for like 2 seasons back in 2019, but realistically, like I just can't play. I get bored. I wish I didn't, but I get bored playing the same deck too long. So I mostly just follow the meta. Although this season I'll probably play the same deck all season because I have to choose a deck to get my EWCs up so that I can actually push at the end with rank 15. What rank did you reach last month? I was 4 wins away from Ultimate Champion and then forgot to finish pushing. Like I got a few wins away like by middle of yesterday afternoon, and then had a family thing, and then came home and just went to bed and forgot. So it would have been easy to get the last few wins, just fell asleep. Any deck you would consider settling down for? I don't know. I get so bored. I get bored and I also get frustrated. So I don't know. I'm debating right now whether this month I'm going to focus on RG, focus on GY like Splash Yard, or if I'm going to go with some sort of cycle deck. I'm leaning towards Splash Yard this month, just because I feel like a lot of the cycle decks that I would play, I get really annoyed losing to like MK Hog with all the cycle decks that I would play. I'm just not skilled enough, and so having NATO just to hedge against Hog all the time feels like a smart move. So I might just one-trick Splash Yard this month and see what happens. Plus, I had a really nice guide that I made with the God RF to help everyone get better at Splash Yard, but me as well. So that might be the deck I settle on this month. We'll see. Not sure. All right, last chance on questions before I kill this stream and go about my day. Anybody? Going once. Going twice. And sold. All right, folks. It's been a whole lot of fun hanging out with you. I'll be back. I'm planning to be back tomorrow for the next day of GKR. What does it take to be a high-level coach? Better question for someone like Julesy or Jebba's. But clearly understanding the meta, knowing how to help your players improve on certain decks, and being a good, focused researcher with lots of dedication. That's it. All right. It's been fun. As always, be excellent to each other, and party on, dude. Peace.